Mr Speaker, my electorate of Swansea is a classic example of the lack of a coordinated approach to infrastructure by the former Labor government, notwithstanding that during the 16 years of unbroken Labor administrations, New South Wales received record receipts inter alia by way of stamp duty on real property transfers, the result of unprecedented real property boom across the whole of New South Wales from 1997 to 2003. The only infrastructure upgrade in my electorate of Swansea was to Belmont District Hospital, which upgrade delivered a net outcome of the closure of 14 hospital beds. Great result: build a new attached hospital building at a cost of several $1 million and deliver a net result to the community of a loss of 14 desperately needed hospital beds. Mr Speaker, some 70 years ago, our planners had the foresight and vision to provide for a road bypass corridor running from the Pacific Highway Marks Point, now in the city of Lake Macquarie, to the Pacific Highway Adamstown Heights in the city of Newcastle. Some 70-odd years ago, planners had the foresight to appreciate that communities such as Belmont, Jules, Floraville, Tingara Heights, Valentine, Ellibana, Warners Bay, Windale, Gateshead, Redhead, Charlestown, Cohiba and Dudley would by the late 20th century be experiencing such traffic gridlock along stretches of the Pacific Highway that the Belmont-Charlestown bypass would be required as an essential piece of infrastructure in East Lake Macquarie. Mr Speaker, sadly, those far-sighted planners of some 70 years ago did not see that in 2009 New South Wales planners of far less vision would relinquish the Belmont-Charlestown bypass, thus abandoning each and every one of those communities cited above, both present and future, to a less than substandard major highway and unacceptable traffic conditions. This is a traffic corridor that we as a government must now address and attempt to reinstate. Mr Speaker, many people are familiar with the beautiful seaside village of Swansea, the gateway to the Hunter to the north and Central Coast to the south, from which my electorate takes its name. Swansea Channel is the only entry artery and exit point for water to and from the Pacific Ocean into and from Lake Macquarie, the largest saltwater lake in the southern hemisphere. Swansea Channel is a highly dynamic marine environment, the consequence of which is that the channel requires regular dredging in order that it remains navigable, and this navigability is absolutely essential in order that fleets of ocean-going commercial sport and leisure craft in entering and leaving this, the largest saltwater lake in the southern hemisphere. This navigability is essential for the sustainability of the several marinas, yachting and sailing clubs and the myriad of small businesses established within and around the lake. Mr Speaker, the people of Lake Macquarie and Swansea will well understand the importance of the channel being navigable at all times, and it is not surprising, therefore, that within the Swansea and Lake Macquarie communities there was great euphoria and excitement when on the 14th of March 2011, just 11 days out from the March 2011 state election, the former Labor government, through its then Lands Minister, did, with much fanfare, announced that the government had placed an order for a dredge for the full-time use in Swansea Channel. Mr Speaker, I'm here to tell you that upon coming to government, I, along with every other member of my electorate, was shattered when it was discovered that no dredge for Swansea Channel had ever been ordered, and not only had the dredge not been ordered, but the funds for the purchase of the dredge, any dredge, had never been approved. Mr Speaker, not only had the dredge not been ordered nor the funds approved, the source of the funding for the purchase of the dredge had at no time been unequivocally identified. Mr Speaker, this is not infrastructure by planning by the former corrupt Labor government, but rather a deliberate attempt to retain power. Order.
The member for Swansea will come to order. The member for Wollongong rises on a point of order.
Yes, point of order, Mr Assistant Speaker. Private members' statements are statements which provide in this House the opportunity for members to speak, preferably in a positive way, about their electorates. It is not an opportunity to either attack or make outrageous statements. So I'd ask that he concentrate.
I've heard the point of order. I call the member for Pittwater on the point of order.
To the point of order, Mr Speaker, the subject of a private member statement can be a matter pertaining to a member's electorate or raised by a member of his electorate. Everything that I heard was completely consistent with the rulings pertaining to private member statements, and I think the comments of the member for Wollongong are quite...
I don't believe the standing orders order. I don't order...
Point of order.
The member for Wollongong. Yep.
The standing orders provide that private member statements in this place are there for members to speak specifically about their own electorates. Now, it is not an opportunity in private members, and custom has it, that in private member statements we do not attack each other across the Parliament, that they actually are a more positive method. And I just ask that the member be asked to concentrate on speaking about his electorate and not attacking others.
Order. I call the member for Wollongong to order. I've just reviewed the standing orders and I don't believe that there is a standing order that can direct me as to how members of Parliament address their private members' statements. I therefore rule the member for Swansea in order.
Mr Speaker, I'd in that case seek an extension of time to complete my address.
Order, you need to seek leave. The question is, sorry, there's not a question. Is leave granted? Leave is not granted.
Thank you, Mr Speaker.
Order. The member for Swansea will